The Houston Rockets start off the season 0-2 last night. They fell to the Pistons 115 to 111. And here's what KD had to say after the game.
Obviously, adversity is tough, and losing is tough, but it's going to make us better, And coaching staff's pissed off, the players pissed off, and we want a better outcome. And it's early too, so for us to feel that way, I like that kind of energy coming into the gym. You had 30.
So you heard what KD had to say. Of course, 0-2 start. You don't want to start off 0-2, but they're working out the kinks. It's, a lot of different guys haven't played together. So, it's going to be a work in progress. I say give it about 8 to 10 more games, right? 10 to 12 games in total. You kind of see what the team, how a team really operates during that time span. So I say don't overreact, don't panic. Give the team, like I said, 12 games in total to see, how things, really, are going to pan out. But just my observation from last night watching the game, when it comes to the offensive side, it's not a lot of movement. I'm gonna just be honest. It's not a lot of movement. It's kind of, you know, give it to Alpi, give it to KD, see if they can make a play, take their players one on one, and get a basket. I don't see the passing. I don't see the cuts. I don't see guys coming off the screens as much. So that's something I think Ime is going to emphasize moving forward. I know in his post game press conference he mentioned how the ball wasn't really moving, guys were open, but guys just didn't pass it. They missed it, or they just decided to go one on one, and I think that's something to really focus on moving forward. Another thing, man, I think, like I said, it's a lot of guys who haven't played together. They're trying to, see where they fit. Like Min Thompson, everybody. I think KD dropped 37, and everybody was like didn't reach over 15 in that starting lineup. So I think everybody had 11, if I'm not mistaken. It was weird stat line, but just basing off of game one against OKC, game two against the Pistons, it's like this team is losing to teams that they didn't have this second or third best player in the lineup. OKC with J Dub was out opening night, and then last night, Jalen Durant was ejected like 11 minutes into the game. So you fall into teams that, you know, don't have, their top guys, one of their top guys, I should say. So that is a little, not the best thing, right? But again, give this team some time. But I do think that, you know, point guard got to find somebody who can handle the rock. Missing Fred VanVleet is big. Reed Shepherd, I think as the season goes on, he's going to get more comfortable, but he's not there quite yet, right? But I do like what I see. I like what I see. I think he's going to be, I'll say 25 games in. I think we'll see a more comfortable Reed Shepherd. He's in a new role. He's that primary. I know he's not starting. Well, he didn't start the past two games, but he could very well start, if Ime switches up this lineup and kind of deviates from the double big, for certain matchups, for certain games, or for certain teams. So that's what I think is really, a point of emphasis as well. That point guard position, right? Um, you kind of don't want Alpi. I know Alpi can handle the rock, for a big man, but you don't want him being your primary guy to, initiate the offense, take the ball up the court. KD, he's not. KD he can do some ball handling as well, but he's not as quick as he once was, right? When he was younger. Got to talk about, Tari Eason, he's been struggling his first couple of games. I mean, like what you saw from Josh Okogie yesterday. When I'm not sure the timetable on Dorian Finney-Smith, but when he comes back, you're probably looking at minutes. That's what I'm saying. Like Josh Okogie, if he continues to, ball out in the absence of DFS, Tari Eason could very well, find himself, you know, getting his minutes, taken. I'm not gonna lie. If Ime really likes, playing these bigs, Clint Capella, he's going to get his minutes. Which isn't he doesn't play a bunch of minutes, but I feel like DFS, Josh Okogie, and Tari Eason, they're going to be fighting for who's going to be on the court the majority of the time when it comes to those three. So that's something interesting to look out for. But I'm not going to overreact. But I do think this team will eventually make a move for a point guard before the trade deadline, whatever that might be. Sign somebody off free agency or trade for somebody. I think it's looking like that. It's looking like that. But again, I'm not going to overreact. Hopefully they find their rhythm on the offensive side because it is not looking smooth at all, to be honest. Not looking smooth. So those are my thoughts in the comments. Let me know yours.
On this memory here at Rocker Park. That is theme. Somebody needs a basket. We're gonna see when the Fargo post. Snacks. Tell me yesterday, HBC.
Man, once again, man, I appreciate you having me, man. And congrats, man, on the platform. And I said, keep it going. Keep doing your thing.